Challenger, a space shuttle built by NASA to take humans to orbit. On January 1986, engineers warned the NASA management that the O-rings might fail in the cold weather that day. But management decided to go ahead with the launch anyway. A few minutes after takeoff, the shuttle exploded, killing all 7 astronauts. There's a term for this. It's called groupthink, coined by social psychologist Irving Janis. He studied disasters like the Bay of Pigs invasion and found that no one person wanted to be the one to challenge the obviously bad ideas. But why do smart, capable people sometimes make catastrophic mistakes like this? Well, according to Janis, it's because the desire for harmony and consensus overrides good judgment. In tight-knit groups, there's a natural tendency to stick together, to avoid conflict, and be liked by the group. So people often stay silent when they should speak up. It happens in families, teams at work, even in therapy sessions. When this happens, it's called the Abilene paradox. Everyone knows what needs to be done, but nobody does it until it's too late. You know the feeling when you're in a meeting and you have this gut feeling that the group is making a terrible decision. You try to speak up, but then you hesitate. You think, how can I phrase this so that everyone stays on the same page? Or maybe you think, who am I to question their ideas? Maybe they know more than me. And so you stay silent. But according to Dr. Seuss, speaking up could save lives. In 1972, he wrote an essay called The Abilene Paradox. He described a group of friends who were planning to go to a football game. All of them really wanted to stay home, but they didn't want to be the only ones to suggest it. So they all agreed to go to the game. And as it turned out, they all had a terrible time. They sat in the blazing sun, got terribly sunburned, and just wanted to go home. And in the end, they all decided that next time, they'd rather stay home. But that time had now passed and they couldn't change it. So this is what it feels like to experience the Abilene paradox. We know what we want, but we let the group pressure us into doing something else. As a result, we end up miserable. And this is exactly what happened to the crew of the Challenger. When the temperature dropped to nearly freezing, engineers sent a letter to their managers explaining that the O-rings would probably fail in such cold weather. At the time, Morton Thiokol, the company that built the O-ring for the shuttle, had already admitted that there were some flaws with the design. But NASA officials wanted to go ahead with the launch anyway. They had already rescheduled it twice, and they didn't want to disappoint the public, especially since school children were invited to watch the launch. But those engineers knew something that the managers didn't. The materials that connect the solid rocket boosters to the rest of the shuttle are O-rings. If they failed, the whole thing would explode. So the night before the launch, they sent a letter to management saying that they weren't sure if the O-rings would hold up in such low temperatures. But their message was ignored. The next morning, the shuttle took off. A few minutes later, it exploded. Do you know someone who has experienced groupthink? Leave a comment. Also, if you've ever been in a situation where you knew the group was making a bad decision, but you went along with it anyway, hit the like button. Now, speaking of bad decisions, did you know that over 1 million people around the world are currently incarcerated? That means that every year more than 250,000 people enter prison, while 250,000 leave. Some come out and turn their lives around, but many remain trapped in a cycle of poverty, addiction, and crime. That's why our team partnered with a leading re-entry organization to create a special program inside the prison walls. We send them care packages with basic necessities like socks and underwear. We help them find jobs and housing when they get out, and we pay for their therapy and counseling. We believe that everyone deserves a second chance. Would you agree? Then please consider donating to our Second Chance Fund. Your tax-deductible donation will go directly to our partner organization and help bring hope to people who have lost hope. Just visit our website and click Donate. Thank you. And now back to the video. Tomorrow, we'll talk about one of the most infamous studies in psychology, the Stanford Prison Experiment. See you then.